Hey everybody! I know that today is Valentine's Day before the 13th, or it might be the 14th when you see this, but happy whatever is going on. And I just wanted to pop in and say, just very honestly, that I have always had a negative relationship with this time of year. I don't really enjoy um the celebration of Valentine's Day in general. I have many years where I was single, and when I was younger, I had many times when people would talk about self-love and I would roll my eyes. And I just wanted to say that in case it speaks to someone, because I think the idea of it is great, but I think that the way that a lot of people talk about self-love is not helpful, and it can even be sort of weaponized against people, like, what, you don't love yourself, and then it just makes that person feel bad that you're saying that to them. And you might not realize that. Maybe intentions are good, but I just wanted to say that it's okay if those words don't speak to you. It's okay if it's cringy or feels dumb or it just doesn't speak to anything tangible that you can actually do. Yeah, Donald hates Valentine's Day too. Yeah, I think it's pretty common. And like, I really like, for instance, I have a husband I love, but I am aware that with Valentine's Day comes all of the feelings for everybody, as well. So I kind of feel like whatever's going on in my life that's great is one thing, but sometimes these holidays make other people feel bad. So I just wanted to speak to that. And I also wanted to speak to, my solution on many of these years is to focus on the most important relationship in my life, which is myself, my own relationship with myself. And again, speaking to that theme of self-love, I think that it can be very confusing of a discussion, because we kind of talk about it like you either have self-love or you don't. It's like a switch that you just flip on and then everything is magical and the end, happily ever after. And for those people who maybe weren't modeled self-love or didn't get a lot of love when they were younger, it's like, okay, great. Like, now I'm in this impossible situation of not only do I have to deal with everything that happened and cleaning up all of that and being responsible for myself, but now I have to achieve this Herculean effort, which is self-love, that other people seem to know the answers about, but they can't actually explain it or what it is. Because it's not just pedicures, it's not just manicures, it's not getting a massage, it's not shopping. Like, come on, please. Like, the filter in which we have explained what it is so consumeristic and superficial and shallow. And for me, what has been much more helpful is just to completely change the way we talk about it in general. Just completely change the phrase in general. Like, I actually don't really use the word self-love at all. I really prefer to talk about being my own best friend and have other people being their own best friend. Because about when my dad died, I've done so much work over my life, therapy, all these different things. But when my dad died in 2021, it was like starting over again. It was like worse than ever. It was like my anxiety for months and months and months was at a 20 out of 10. And I couldn't live like that. And there was really nothing I could do about it. But I decided, you know what is a strength I have? What if I try to work with my strengths instead of only looking at the things that were problems? I'm going to look at my strengths. Hey, I'm a really good friend to others. So what if I could be an even better friend to myself? And that's what I thought. That's what kind of started this whole thing, about me being my own best friend. And so I decided that my 2023 goal was just to focus on that all year long. And I decided that I wasn't trying to fix something. I wasn't trying to just achieve some kind of external goal. I just literally wanted to be a better best friend of myself, because I was going through a really hard time that I could do nothing about. I was just going to have to deal with the things I was going to have to deal with, like grief. There's no solution for grief. There's no solution. No, there's not. And it doesn't just go away after a year or even two, like, there's no solution to it. So what can you do? Well, you can get support. But what can you do if you can't control other people and how much support they have to give? You can't control that either, but you can try to show up for yourself a little bit more. So that's what my thought process was. And I'm reporting back after a year that it has been a really good experiment. I really, really have benefited from being my own best friend in a bigger way. That's not to say that I was a bad best friend before. Again, self-love is not either or, it's not like on or not on. You can be completely loving of yourself, but decide, I want to bump it up a notch. And that's a possible thing. There's no end to this, And I get frustrated with the self-love talk as if it's you reach a pinnacle and you're done. Like, you're not. Especially not when things out of your control happen. So in case that speaks to anything for somebody else, imagining what a best friend would do, imagining what I would do with my friend in a similar situation. What would I say to her? How would I show up for her? Like, if I had the perfect best friend right now, what would they be doing? How would they be holding space for my emotions? Almost like replicating myself, thinking about being like two people and how I could serve myself in a new way. There's something about that image of another person being there to be available to me that was much more helpful than some kind of intangible talk about self-love, which again has the meanings that people put on it that I don't agree with, that have to do with pedicures and all this stuff, which I don't care about. So the point of being your own best friend is to meet you where you are and not to judge you or put you in a box or have expectations or give you advice that you don't want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So literally every other place where someone might have failed you in your life or society might have failed you in your life, this, you can correct for it. You can do better. And so that's why it's so powerful. And I think for me, I think that under the umbrella of self-love, a lot of times when I'm hurting or I'm upset, these ideas are much more tangible and helpful than the concept of self-love, which again has become a buzzword, has become associated with many things that don't speak to me, and I think don't speak to a lot of people. And again, sometimes when people talk about it, it's almost like an attack, where if someone would be like, "Hey, do you love yourself?" I'd be like, "Stop attacking me. Like, get out of my face. Like, go away. I don't want to hear it." Okay. So I just wanted to share that. And it's kind of funny that, I'm teaching a class tomorrow on being your own best friend. And literally in the course of sharing about it, writing about it, I've deliberately not been using the word self-love because I actually don't really like the words. And I just want to say that it's okay if you don't like the words. I'm here with you. We're bonding now. And if you're interested in the class that I'm going to do tomorrow, where I'm not talking about self-love in the typical ways at all, then I'll put the link for that in the comments. But that's going to be happening tomorrow and the 21st. And if you miss it, you can always get the replay as well. But I'm really excited for that, where I'm going to share writing exercises, somatic exercises that have all been really helpful for me to feel that supported feeling, even when other people can't get on the phone, which is really, 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 really good to have in terms of grief or trauma or other bad things going on, or even just, it can be tough being human sometimes, and it will really elevate your confidence and your ability to deal with hard things. So I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for popping in. Bye, guys.